So I used to jerk off in public a lot. And not actually, no, that's not the story. Everyone has that friend when they're growing up, especially in their teens, who like gets you to do lots of questionable things. And whether it's like drag racing or cliff diving or shark baiting, they keep pestering you to do it basically until you're dead. And even then they're like, God, what a wuss. And for me, that friend for me, that friend is microphone feedback. For me, that friend was a buddy of mine who I'm not going to say his name because it's really quite unique. It's Giannis, but he, when we were teenagers, always got me to do very questionable things, and the main one was that he got me to watch horror movies. And that sounds like really minor. You're probably like, Alex, that's really stupid. And I'm like, I know. But like on the scale of people, like normal people who can watch horror movies and the people who get awkward boners when watching Hostel, I am on the person who sleeps with the lights on after watching Supernatural. And not just because I'm terrified of the fangirls. So, yeah, there's someone who watches the show back there. Hint, the fangirls like incest. It's creepy. So one day he calls me up and he says, hey, you should come on over and watch a movie, which is like automatic, like red flag in my head and going, oh no. But I'm like, okay, what do you want to watch? He's like, just come on over, we'll pick something when you're here. And so I get there and it's like classic horror movie setup already. It's like, you know, big sort of like mildly creepy teenage guy being like, want to come on over, and me sort of like the pinnacle of femininity with my pigtails and like tiny skirt being like, oh my God, I brought popcorn. And I have more corsets and my bosom heaves more, like that sort of thing. And I come over and he's like, I picked a movie. I think you'll like it. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake, Stabbing Boogaloo, like whatever it was. If you've never seen the movie, the basic plot is this. There is a young man named Leatherface, and fighting through adversity and disfigurement, he learns how to love and bond with his family, all while disemboweling sexy teenage co-eds. And I was like, okay, this is a terrible idea, but all right, let's watch this. Because, like, again, I was about maybe 17 years old, and, like, that's, like, the perfect, like, ripe age for, like, just that stupid bravado and machismo that comes with being a teenager, like, every dumb decision. You're like, yeah, no, I'll do it. What? Do you even lift, bro? What? Fight! Like, every damn thing. You're just so hooked on, like, just proving to your friends that you're cool. So I was like, yes, let's watch this movie. So we go down to his basement at his mom's place, and we go and he turns off the lights, and we sit down on the couch and he fires up the movie. And as we're sitting there, and I'm desperately trying not to like just do like the classic like Macaulay Culkin hands over the eyes thing, it's like every single scene's like, what's over here? Oh no, I'm being stabbed. What's over here? Oh, like like every single scene, and I'm getting more and more uncomfortable. It's just sitting there just like, oh, I can barely handle this. I'm not good with gore. And like, I'm the only kind of horror movies I can stand are the kind of movie where like you can see the ketchup bottle under the guy's shirt and he's like, oh no, and he's like pressing on it and it's just sort of shooting straight up. The makeup artist's hand is darting in to put more like latex on them. Like, I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with the kind of movies where it's like nothing but jump scares and like realistic pig organs falling out of people, which is basically the entire movie. And so like Leatherface is learning to love again, and I'm learning how to like try not to pee my pants. And about 45 minutes in, he says the scariest thing I've heard all night, which is he pauses the movie and he turns to me and he goes, I'm going to go to the washroom. I'll be back. And, like, he's one of these friends who you're sitting there and you're just like, oh, no, I'm trapped. I'm in his basement. He's left the room. He knows I'm uncomfortable. He knows he's, like, set this whole thing up. It's a fucking conspiracy, man. It's Scientology. It's the government did it. It's, like, that kind of thing. Your mind is just running. You're like, I'm going to die tonight. And so I'm sitting there in this dark basement. I'm refusing to turn the light on. Because that is a sign of weakness. turning the light on means I'm scared. I'm like, no, I will sit here in the dark. In his basement, to picture it like this, you guys are the TV. This whole room is one giant fucking TV. Alicia would be the door to the hallway. And that is the only door to the hallway that I can access, and I'm not going out there. I don't care if the fucking house is burning down. I will claw through the drywall before I go through that, because I know he is that kind of friend who is waiting out there for the jump scare. It's like having a friend who's a comedian who only tells jokes when you're drinking. It's like just waiting for you to do spit takes. He is that guy, except with just making you pee your pants. So I'm sitting there and 5 minutes goes by, and I'm sitting there in silence in the dark, and 10 minutes goes by. And I'm sitting there in the silence in the dark, and nothing's happening, and I can't hear anything in the house, and I can't hear anyone out there, and he's not coming in the door. And I'm not going out the door, because now we're in some sort of weird fucked up stalemate. Or he's waiting, I know he's waiting to scare me, and I know that I am not going out there because I refuse to be scared. And 15 minutes goes by, and I'm reading the back of a DVD, just trying to be like, no, if any creepy monsters are in here, I'm not afraid of them. Because I'm reading a DVD cover. Apparently Rammstein had a concert. I bet it was good. So I'm waiting, and at 15-minute point, you just want to scream out, just do it already, for God's sake! And I'm waiting, and I'm staring at the door to the hallway, waiting. When all of a sudden, I hear a noise, not from the hallway, and not from upstairs, and not from the door to the hallway, but from the door to the backyard that I have completely forgotten about. This door is locked in his house 364 days a year, apparently. I have constantly walked into it while trying to open it, because it's always locked. That one day, it was not locked. So if Alicia is the door to the hallway, then Laura Louise is the door to outside. I am facing here, watching there, and suddenly the Laura Louise doors burst open, because they're French doors, and they just do that dramatically anyways. Every single thing is just like, I'm here. So they burst open, the curtains fly back, I whip around holding the Rammstein DVD like a talisman, and I am faced with a specter of a man, 6'5", bloody face, torn skin, bloody shirt, and chainsaw. And the sound of a chainsaw that echoes through the quiet of the room. Now here's the thing: everyone likes to think that if you're in a horror movie, that your reaction to the situation would be to do basically one of two things. It's either to scream and do this, and then just run, and then I guess fall over and die. I don't know, but not die on the spot. Make it at least 30 meters. Or to pull out your magical gun and fire about 86 bullets into them. Ineffectual again, you also die, but whatever, you made an attempt. My body's reaction was less of a fight mechanism. It wasn't even a flight mechanism. It was more of just what are you gonna do? So it took 3 steps. The first step was to scream. The second step was to throw the DVD. Ineffectual? Yes. The third step was to just buckle and collapse on the spot. I didn't even make it a meter away. It was just blah. And the fourth step was to start crying. Really, thankfully, I never hit number 5, which was just every other part of your body just starts sobbing. It was just the crying, and that's when I heard the laughter. And this is why, pro tip: when you're a teenager, you should. If anyone here has has kids or is going to have kids, when they're teenagers, tell them you are not allowed to be friends with film majors because they are dicks. What I had forgotten was that he had just finished working on a horror movie short, and had all the props still at his house, the zombie mask and the blood, the fake blood, really more fake blood than any one person should have, and the fake chainsaw. that had gone with the movie, that made creepy enough sounds as is. So after I finished punching him in the jaw and crying and got my heart started again, we sat back down and finished. We actually finished watching the movie. I don't remember how it ends due to the shock, but I assume that there was some sort of like happy montage at the end and everyone rode off on a bus together. And there was some sort of like Graduate-esque ending. I don't know, like maybe Leatherface and the one girl who lives sort of like ran to the bus and are like, should we be doing this? I don't know. Do we love each other? Oh, you're stabbing me. Oh, okay. But this is when I figured out that in the realm of the horror movie, we all like to dream that we will be the person who lives to the end of the movie, like the one person who's just like, oh my God, everyone's dead, but really I'm okay with it because I'm fine. Or at least be the secondary character who survives till about 45 minutes in and then dies with some sort of brisk witticism, being like, looks like I've been put on ice, falls into snowbank. But what I learned is that I'm neither of those people. I'm just destined to be victim number 3, who dies about 5 minutes in before the credits, and basically was just hey, what's going on? I will never, ever make it to the end of a horror movie. Okay, that's it.